Lecturer at the University of Hull Law School in the UK. He joins me on the news at 10 for more insight to this development. Mr. Lateef, good to have you join us tonight. Help give clarity on what this ruling is all about. Kindly unmute your device so we can hear you.
All right, so thank you so much. Well, I have followed the ruling of the Court of Appeal delivered today regarding the local government issue in Osun State. And the truth is this. I mean, there has been a lot of misinformation and I think deliberate mischief out there to hoodwink or deceive unsuspecting members of the public regarding what the Court of Appeal actually decided today. So the question then is that what really transpired in court today? Now, I will explain that by saying that first and foremost, it's a very simple, principle of law that a judgment of court is only an authority for what it decided. So in other words, you cannot apply a judgment in court A or twist it to mean what the court did not say. So what really happened today was that, yes, the Court of Appeal declined the application of the APC to release an appeal that was dismissed on the 13th of January 2025. The basis for dismissal at that time was that the appeal was not diligently prosecuted, and the court affirmed the same ground today. But the court did not stop there. The court went as far as referencing a subsequent decision of the same court decided on the 10th of February 2025, when my Lord, Honorable Justice Obiora JCA, actually said today, by referring to that that decision of 10th of February, the court said that relisting the earlier dismissed appeal will amount to creating a confusion or luring the court into revisiting what has already been decided on the 10th of February 2025. The question then is, what was decided on the 10th of February 2025? The Court of Appeal, in another judgment, actually reinstated the chairman across the local government in Osun State by specifically deciding that my Lord, Honorable Justice Ayo Emmanuel of the Federal High Court in Osogbo lacked jurisdiction to sack those local government chairmen in the first place. So the question is that if the Court of Appeal in a decision of today reference and made specific points about the earlier judgment of 10th of February and decline an attempt to lure it into overruling or even considering that, that is the words of the court. So why would anybody, other than for a purpose to achieve a mischief, interpret that to mean that the Court of Appeal has sacked those who are currently occupying the seat of local government chairman legitimately, I would say, pursuant to the order of the same court. So basically, yes, what happened today was that the Court of Appeal simply refused to release an appeal, which in my opinion actually was a surplusage in the first place.
Mr. Lateef,
if there had been an okay.
Yes, I hear you. Just as you were mentioning, parties to this suit actually appear divided on the interpretation of the ruling. So I'm wondering why it is that both parties have actually been unable, to lay claim to the ruling. Why the division, to this extent, and how do we move forward on this matter, considering that the court now has not explicitly mentioned, whether or not the set of people were reinstated, and that seems to be causing the confusion among the people?
Well, unfortunately, like I said earlier, I think the controversy that you see is a deliberate attempt of some persons to hoodwink or mislead the public. I do not think the confusion really arises from what the court decided today. What the court decided today was plain and clear. The court simply said, we are not releasing this appeal. And like I said earlier, the court said releasing the appeal will amount to I mean, more or less like wasting the time of the court, because there had been a subsequent appeal that decided the same subject matter. So making the court or luring the court to release the appeal again will amount to creating confusion. These are not my words. They are words of the court. The court said we will not be lured. The court said releasing will create a confusion. So basically, the controversy that you see, as I said, is totally unnecessary. And it's an attempt, as I said, by some people to hoodwink the public. So the authority now, as I speak, is that the judgment of the Court of Appeal on the 10th of February, which reinstated this legitimate chairman, is still the valid judgment of the Court of Appeal. And unfortunately, the party that lost in that appeal failed to file any appeal against the judgment to the Supreme Court. So that judgment remains sacrosanct as I speak today.
Law lecturer at the University of Hull Law School in the UK, Misbau Lateef, thank you very much for this insight you've shared with us on TVC News at 10.
My pleasure. Thank you too.
When TVC News at 10 returns,